What's up, guys? Welcome back to FIU Dynasty. If you missed the last episode, we finished out the regular season going 4-1 in the final 5 games, which gives us a record of 6-6 and should make us bowl eligible. Will we get a bowl game? I don't know. We could not get a bowl game. We could, but we're in the conference championship week. If you could tell, we did not make the conference championship. I still don't know if we got screwed over because we did beat Liberty, we beat Middle Tennessee, we beat Western Kentucky, but we didn't play Sam Houston. So I don't really know how the tiebreaker would go, but we still ended up having a shot at the conference championship nonetheless, which I was not expecting, but we are here in the conference championship week in year number 2. We'll look at the other conference championships. Obviously, Conference USA is Liberty versus Kennesaw State. Pac-12, the new Pac-12 has Boise State against San Diego State. The Mountain West has UNLV at Air Force. The Big 12 has Texas Tech at Arizona State. The MAC Championship has Western Michigan and Toledo. The Sun Belt has App State versus Southern Miss. The American Conference has Tulane versus North Texas. The SEC Championship has 19 Georgia versus Bama. The Big Ten Championship has Washington at undefeated Ohio State. And then the ACC Championship has number 3 ranked Miami versus Louisville. So that is all the conference games. We're not going to check if we made a bowl game because I'm pretty sure you can check if we make a bowl game, but we're not going to do that right now. Since it is the conference championship week, we can fire our coordinators. But I think we're going to stick with our coordinators. I don't think we're going to make any moves there. But we could do some recruiting here. We also got a few more commits. We got Lyle Beard, Alexander Daly, Deion Briscoe, and Trayvon Volk all committed last episode. So we got these guys. But we are very close at getting Cameron Tuttle here. We swayed him and it worked. Could we get Cameron Tuttle? We swayed him and it works. It's +3. We're gonna hard sell now, so we can hard sell this, and it should give us our best chance here. But like I've been doing, I'll do this off screen and I'll update you guys on our board. All right, updates to recruiting here. We are now hard selling here for Cameron Tuttle, hard selling personal campus personality. So that's the best thing we can sell here because we have an A+, but we do have an F, which sucks. But hopefully that's enough to beat out Kansas State. Hopefully it's looking very dicey there, but Derek Lobato, we're keeping 40 minutes on him. We're throwing 10 more minutes here on Rico Manuel because South Florida is going after him, so toss more minutes on him. Calvin McCarry, Florida State's offered on him, threw 25 on him to hopefully maybe get into his top 8 before he locks us out. And then outside of that, I think that's about the only updates we got. We added a few guys, but didn't really want to throw minutes on those guys. But we'll go to next week here, and we'll see what happens in the conference championship week. All right, we get updates to recruiting here. Rico Manuel is now into his top 3. We should hopefully be getting him. South Florida is making a good push. We're still first for Marquise Swain. We are now second for Calvin McCarr, but Florida State's putting a lot of hours into him. It's looking like he could go to Florida State. We are first for Byler, locked out of Aragon there. All right, so now we'll check out the scores and the schedules around the conference championship week. Liberty beats Kennesaw State 31-23. I want to say Kennesaw State won it last year. It might have honestly been Kennesaw State and Liberty last year as well. But moving on to the Pac-12, it was a high-scoring game. San Diego State 49-43 over Boise State. The Mountain West was a complete opposite. It was a low-scoring game, 14-13 Air Force win. Arizona State squeaks by Texas Tech 28-27. You got Western Michigan emerging victorious 20-17 over Toledo. You have a 28-25 victory over App State so far, or over Southern Miss. So far, it's been very close. All the games have been very close, either one-score games or Yeah, I think they've all been one-score games actually. This one was not. Tulane lost 6-20 to North Texas. The SEC championship, Georgia falls short of Alabama. In the Big Ten championship, Ohio State finishes 13-0, so I believe they're the only undefeated team in the nation. So they will probably get the number one seed and get the bye. They beat Washington 35-24. And then with the ACC championship, Miami beats Louisville 19-16 to finish as the number two team. So those were the stats and were the games from championship weekend. So we'll go here next week and see if we can see what bowl game we could be playing in. All right, updates. Recruiting Calvin McCarry is now into his top 5. Florida State's kind of easing up on him, but they still have a lead. I would like to get him. He's a pretty good corner. He's hybrid or pretty good safety. He's hybrid. He's got 90 speed. We are first for Dennis Bowe. We are second for Dwyer. I don't think we're going after him really. Those are the only updates there on the recruiting side. Your 2026 Heisman Trophy winner here is Landon Roldan from Georgia. Had 124 catches, 1,700 yards, 16 touchdowns. That is insane. I've never heard of this guy, honestly. Landon Roldan. Never heard of this guy, but he does win the Heisman here in year number 2. And we will be facing another Florida team here in the Independence Bowl, the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. We're going against the South Florida Knights, so we will make a bowl game here. UCF also is 6-6, so we're on the same playing field here, but they are, I'm going to assume, a higher overall than us. Yeah, they are 72. Actually, we're a dead even team. We're both 72, 71 offense, 74 defense. So this could be a good game. We're probably just going to play the moments there as well because we're going to be going through the entire offseason as well. But now we have a big matchup against a Big 12 team, USF. If it's fitting, it would be a Florida team versus a Florida team here. So let's go ahead and get into this bowl game. But before we jump into this game, we'll look at what the college football playoff is looking like. So we'll start from the top here. North Texas is the only non-Power 5 or Power 4 team makes the college football playoff at 11-2. They will face UCLA. You got Texas versus Washington, a rematch of a few years ago. You got Arizona State versus Penn State, Florida versus Texas Tech, and your teams with the byes are Duke, Ohio State, Alabama, and Miami. So that is your college football playoff. Right now we'll update each week there on what happens, but let's now jump into this game against USF. All right, we have our first moment here of this Independence Bowl game. We have it at 3rd and 4. So what's going to happen there? We're going to hit Stone, who will get the first down. That was a lucky throw. Another moment on the same drive, 3rd and 8 now. Get that out of there to Anthony Carey, who was tackled immediately. Loss of 2 on that play. We do not make the field goal there. It is remaining 0-0 here. USF now has the ball, or UCF now has the ball at the 10. They're going to start with a run, and their running back is untouched. Touchdown, UCF. Probably because I've been calling them the USF this entire time, but that is the first score of the game here for the Knights in this Florida matchup. Tavion Swint was untouched in his run to the end zone there. UCF strikes first. Back on defense. 3rd and 8. Need to make a good stop here. We're going man-to-man. See if our guys can hold up here in man coverage. Quarterback's got time. Quarterback over the middle. Somehow he held on to that ball. They're going to mark him inches short. All right, UCF made the field goal, makes it 10-0. 9 minutes left in this first half. Come on, defense. Let's get a stop here. All right, that was a good. All right, make the tackle. Thank you. And they're going to attempt a field goal. This is a long field goal from the 45. The kick is up. It sneaks in. UCF now 13-0. 8:20 left in the first half. All right, we score on our next drive. Now we're only down by 6. Can we get another stop? 3rd and 5. Come on, D-line. Let's get some pressure on the quarterback. We do, but he gets it off. Great tackle. Swint is short, and that's going to be a punt. All right, they're back on offense. 3rd and 4. Come on, let's sack this guy. It's a run. Swint makes the sharpest cuts ever, gets the first down. Tavian Swint. All right, 1st and 10 now. They got at the 13 after the run by Swinton. Here it's an RPO. The receiver breaks the tackle. We got to make those tackles, Keenan. It's now 3rd and 5. They're going to go empty formation here. We are running man. Hopefully this doesn't bite me in the ass. 3rd and 5. He throws it back to the end zone. It is... How the hell does he come down with that ball? No fucking way in a million years that I think he would ever catch that. It's Armani Winfield. I mean, that was a wobbler. That was... Somehow number 10 doesn't make a play on that ball. Trying to slow it down. Yeah, he catches it with his fucking... Okay, awesome. This game is just... Holy shit, dude. Now we're on offense here, trying to score before halftime. They're up 20-7 now. Under halfback screen here. Anthony Carey just try to get a bounce, stop the clock at least. Get the receiver JoJo Stone there. We're going to use our first timeout. So these plays here. Can hit Alex Perry there for the first. We're going to go hurry up. 2nd down and 6 here. We're going to scramble here with Proctor. Get down, slide. All right. Try to snap this ball here. Underneath Staten. Just get down here. We're going to take the timeout. We're going to... Jesus, I swear to God, I pressed the center button, but... Alright, we should get points here right before halftime. Alright, we made the field goal there before halftime. We now have it 3rd and 3, dude. I just don't... We're going to try this here. We're going to motion Davis. Stretch to Carver. Carver will get the first down. Alright, now we're on defense. Just didn't get another moment on that drive there. It's 3rd and 9. They have a star running back in the game. So that other guy, not even their starter anyways. First down over the middle. I think Swinton is their backup, so they have another running back who's apparently really good with the star. So he's going to drop that pass. I almost thought it was going to get picked off there. But it's 2nd and 10 now. Got the ball, quick pass there. Number 83 will get 6. Snaps the ball over the middle. Blitz just didn't get there in time. First down. Now it's 2nd goal from the 2-yard line. There's the star running back. They're going to give it to him. He's going to break a tackle, but he's going to end up losing a ton of yards there. Caleb Jackson loses about 6 or 7 there. Now it's 2nd goal from the 9. On defense, let's get an interception or something. It's a QB keeper. QB untouched in the end zone. Touchdown. Every time they run a read option, it's always a touchdown at the quarterback because nobody goes with them. All right, we have 4th and 10 moment. They got another touchdown, so they're up 24 now, 24-10. See what we can do here. Proctor throws to Stone, who can't... even possession caught it, but the game just doesn't fucking let me possession catch it, apparently. All right, we don't get in a moment for those last 11 minutes, but it was probably a good thing. We got our asses handed to us. Jesus Christ. Number 1 is a fucking murderer. That is terrifying. But we lose 44. It's an absolutely blown out. It's really had nothing going for us in that game. But as we look at the stats, Tyler Proctor went 21 of 31, 208 yards, 67% completion percentage, had a touchdown and a pick. Rushing wise, Proctor had the most attempts but finished with negative 16 yards. Anthony Carey had 4 carries, 42 yards. Not much really else on the ground there. Receiving game, Staten tied with the lead for 5 catches, 23 yards. Perry had 5 catches for 59 yards. Stone had the only touchdown offensively. Also had 4 catches, 60 yards. Sacks allowed, 2 sacks allowed from Jaleel Davis, Jonathan Bush, Antonio Tripp, Bodie McCaslin. Basically everybody allowed us a sack except Moses Barnes. Defensively, 8 tackles from Demetrius Hill. TFLs, Big Ears, Stephylan Green, and Keenan Levrone all had one. Only 1 sack, and it was Juan Figures. No interceptions. Pass deflection for Patterson and for Demetrius Hill. No forced fumbles. Overall, just a really bad game. Robert missed 1 field goal, 1 for 2. Very uneventful game. Not a lot of playing in that game. I mean, when you get blown out, there's not really much you can do when you're down 34. But that's gonna be the bowl game. Check out the season stats here. Look at the quarterbacks. Tyler Proctor played in 11 games, went 198 for 368, had a 53% completion percentage, had almost 2,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Yeah, our passing numbers were really bad. We had 9 touchdowns and 19 picks between our 2 quarterbacks. The freshman Awuzie played in 5 games, had a 50% completion percentage, had over 1,000 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 9 picks. So, yeah, we had very bad quarterback play. Somehow managed to even have a 500 record at any point in the season. Rushing-wise, Anthony Carey had the most carries with 157 for 786 and 3 touchdowns. Connor Booth, who was a transfer, had 52 carries, 219 yards. The 4-star true freshman, Greg Carver, appeared in every game, had only 62 carries, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yards per carry was really bad, 2.5. Awuzie, 37 carries, 86 yards, 3 touchdowns. Stone had 14 carries. Proctor had 76, so he's the second most carries, but I believe sacks count as rushing yards, so he ended up finishing with 14 yards, but did have 2 touchdowns. Awuzie fumbled it 3 times. Booth fumbled it twice. Anthony Carey fumbled it 3 times, so he had some fumbling issues. Cassius Davis also had the 1 carry for a touchdown. Receiving-wise, Alex Perry led the team with 64 catches, 780 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He was our leading receiver in every category. So he had a really good senior season. JoJo Stone, the sophomore, 61 catches, 722 yards, 3 touchdowns. We only had three receivers even catch touchdowns. Second was Braden Staten with 50 catches, 483 yards, 2 touchdowns. Carey had 247 yards through the air. Tyson Carter, 225. The freshman Darryl Coffey had 194. Sean Burke had 188. But those are the only guys who had over 100 yards. A lot of drops here. 5 drops for Staten. JoJo Stone had 4. Alex Perry had 5. Coffey had 3. So drops were an issue. Offensive line, Jaleel Davis allowed the most sacks even though he missed 3 games. Jonathan Bush, the transfer, had 5. Bodie McCaslin allowed 4. Moses Barnes only allowed 3. Matthias Garcia, who is rotating in and out with Bush, only allowed 2. Jeremy Smith allowed 2. Tony Tripp allowed 2. So sacks weren't. This doesn't seem like an insane amount, but it still felt like we were getting pressured almost every down, so that wasn't good. CJ Burhey, the true freshman who is actually injured right now, led the team with 81 tackles. Keenan Levrone, the true freshman, 4-star free safety, was second with 75 tackles. Jordan Shaw with 74. Patterson, 64. Curtis, 61. Lemon, the true freshman, 53. Juan Figures, true freshman, had 44 tackles. TFL, Stephylan Green led the team with 13 TFLs. Juan Figures was second with 11. You have Noah Herrick with 9. Sack numbers weren't really good. We only had 2 guys over 5 sacks. It was the transfer Noah Herrick and the true freshman Juan Figures. Steven Shannon had 3.5 sacks, and he missed 4 games. Broderick Claiborne had 3.5 sacks, 3 sacks for Green. A few guys here with 1 or half a sack. Interceptions, though, we only had 5 interceptions all season. Jordan Shaw had 2 of them. Lemon had 1. Keenan Levrone had 1. And Davian Kerr had 1. Defensive touchdowns, Shaw and Levrone were the only 2. Pass deflections, we have 8 for Kerr, 7 for Shaw, Levrone, Lemon, Hill. Celestine even had 6. Forced fumbles, 2 from Shaw, 2 from Celestine. Kerr, Lemon, Hill, Figures, and Corney all had 1. Recoveries, we recovered 2. A lot of guys had 2. George Shaw, Kerr, Lemon, Hill, and Courtney. Some guys had 1 here. Those are our defensive stats. So nobody really stood out. I mean, Levrone, when your safety is second in the team in tackles, I usually don't think that's a good thing. Actually, a lot of defensive backs here had over 60. Lemon, the true freshman, had 53. Kicking wise, we attempted 32 field goals. Robert missed 10. I probably missed almost all of those. Punting wise, Juan Carnegie, who was also a true freshman, had 74 punts over 3,000 yards. Only averaged 37.6 yards per punt. He had 13 inside the 20 and 19 touchbacks. Kick return, Tyson Carter had over 550 kick return yards. Williams had 394. Punt return yards, Kenny Williams had 1 shy of 500. But those were your stats. Nobody really stood out. Nobody was like, whoa, those are really good eye-popping numbers. Just some guys, with some stats that are like, oh, that's good, but it's not like eye-popping stats. So those were the stats. And we'll simulate to next week here. All right, updating the college football playoff. First round, UCLA blows out North Texas, advances to the quarterfinal. You have Texas, who beats Washington once again in the college football playoffs 38-13. You have Arizona State, who beat Penn State 38-30. Florida wins also 38 with 38 points. Texas Tech 24. So every team either scored 38 or 40 points. And in the quarterfinals, you have the basketball matchup. You got 2 basketball schools, maybe football schools now in this. UCLA versus Duke. You have Texas versus Ohio State, who actually plays this week in real life, so that's pretty cool. You got Arizona State versus Alabama, and then you have a Florida matchup. You got Florida versus Miami. We got some pretty interesting matchups here in the quarterfinal. All right, quarterfinals game are over. UCLA barely beats Duke by 1 point. Ohio State beats Texas by 4. Alabama, whoops, Arizona State 51-17. Miami is victorious in the Florida matchup. They win 38-23. And then your semifinals, you got number 5 UCLA versus number 1 Ohio State. You got number 3 Alabama versus number 2 Miami. We'll see who will end up in the national championship. All right, forgot to check this, but freshman All-American Deontay Lemon makes it on the national freshman team, and then Keenan Levrone also made it on the national freshman team. We had nobody for the first and second team, shockingly, but we do have 2 defensive guys here in the national freshman All-American. We have only 1 Conference USA All-American first team. It is the transfer Jordan Shaw. Conference USA second team, we have Anthony Carey at running back. We have the true freshman Juan Figures on Conference USA all second team. We obviously have the true freshman Deontay Lemon. And then we have the true freshman Keenan Levrone on Conference USA second team. Freshman team, we had tight end Jackson Verdugo. We had right guard Tequila and Mew. We also had Broderick Claiborne, Juan Figures, Lemon, Burhe, and Keelan Levrone made freshman conferences. So yeah, we had a lot of freshman play, a lot of very freshman heavy team. We even got some guys on first and second team. So we got a few All-Americans. So we'll definitely take that going into next year. Hopefully they get some good development in the offseason. And your national championship will be between Alabama and UCLA. UCLA beats Ohio State by a field goal, and Miami falls victim to Alabama 42-35. So we're having UCLA and Alabama in the national championship. All right, updates to the school. Our conference prestige goes down to a C minus. We are the 10th ranked conference, just above the Sun Belt. Coach stability goes down to a D minus. Okay. And then coach prestige goes up to a D plus. So we're getting a little bit more prestigious. Prestige. We're getting a little bit more prestigious in college football landscape. We go up to a D plus there. And your 2026 national champions are the UCLA Bruins. They blew out Alabama 41-20. So that means that Nico Iamaleava is a national champion. People were dissing on him for leaving Tennessee, but he goes and wins a national championship at UCLA. So that's a pretty big story there. Texas won it last year over SMU. That also wasn't really a close game, 52-35. So those are your national champions so far. We're going to go ahead and put it into recruiter. Wide receivers and tight ends take less time to fully scout. We only got enough to purchase one there, so we're going to upgrade recruiting there a little bit. All right, we have reached the dreaded players leaving tab. I don't know, there was a lot of guys that still wanted to transfer. We'll check out who is leaving. Top player, Antonio Tripp. He's probably our second best lineman looking to transfer. We're actually not going to have that many transfers this year. Only 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9 guys are looking to transfer, and some of them are freshmen that did make a big impact, but we're going to have to look at some of these seniors that we lost. We're going to be losing here Steven Shannon, who was third on the team with 3.5 sacks. We're going to be losing Celestine, who made some nice plays on special team. We're going to be losing Antonio Patterson, our starting strong safety. We're going to be losing our best lineman in Jaleel Davis, and we're going to be losing our top receiver in Alex Perry. So we actually don't lose very many guys here. Last year we lost over 40 guys. This time we have, I want to say, maybe a little over 20, maybe 21 guys. Still a good amount of players, but we have 4 persuasion chances here if we want to try to get them back. I think we're obviously going to start with Antonio Tripp against transfer because of brain exposure. Persuasion chance is low, but he's going to be our best lineman now that Jaleel Davis is going to be graduating here. So we're going to need persuasion. We got none last year. Can we get one this year? No, Antonio Tripp's gone. Also, we moved up to a 1.5 star. We went from a 0.5 star to a 1.5 star. So we're moving up there in the world. One of the other majority of freshmen, actually, Donald Kuhn was a JUCO transfer. He has impact dev. I don't want to lose him right now, so we're going to try to persuade him. His transfer is for playing time. You will get some playing time this year if you progress very well. We're going to try to persuade him here, and he is not persuade. All right, Broderick Claiborne wants to transfer also due to brain exposure. We don't really have very many edge rushers. We're going to need to keep as many edge rushers as we can. So we're going to try to persuade him. He has a low chance. Can we get Claiborne back? We do not get Claiborne back. So that's another player going to the transfer portal. All right, we're going to use our last persuasion chance here on Jeremy Smith. Unfortunately, I just think Smith has better skill caps and is probably going to hopefully be a better player long term than Michael Moak, even though I want to keep Moak. If we're going to be losing our best tackle, we're going to need to keep somebody who can progress hopefully well here. Jeremy Smith has a medium persuasion chance. Transfer goes to pro potential. Can we get Jeremy Smith back? And we do. We get one player to stay. It is Jeremy Smith. Check out his skill caps here. They're solid. You know, he can get pretty good pass blocking, run blocking, can use some work. Yeah, good IQ. He could be a good tackle for us. Hopefully he goes ballistic in the offseason and get some upgrading. But we're going to be losing Antonio Tripp. Dominic Mays wasn't really caring too much about. Broderick Claiborne's going to be gone. Moak's going to be gone. Williams is out. Kuhn's going to be leaving. Justin Wood and Dominique Hendricks are going to be leaving. So we will lose some players here at the transfer portal, but not as many players, and we did convince one player to stay. What I was shocked by is that George Awuzie decided to not transfer. I thought he was for sure going to transfer, so he's going to be on the roster next year. I just think, he's got max out throw power. He can only get a little more accurate. So I'm gonna hope his accuracies look good, but they were just not very good in game. Um, Play action, carrying, he fumbled a lot. So hopefully he can upgrade it. He could get a second chance of being a starting quarterback, but he was one of the players that surprised who didn't transfer because he wanted to transfer when he even committed here. So that's gonna be a good thing going for us. Okay, and shockingly, we have the number three ranked player in the transfer portal is considering us. It's very unlikely that we get him because he's got Alabama, Clemson, Auburn, Florida, Miami. It's very likely that we will get him, but we are going to go after him here. Jalen Brown. Now, if I remember, he only had 22 catches, so he's probably transferring because of playing time. And we can give him that, so we're going to have a four-star transfer guy interested in us, but we have also a lot of three-star guys that we should be getting or that we're going to go after. So I'll add these guys to the board and I'll update you guys. All right, updating the recruiting board. Cameron Tuttle, we are still in it. Kansas State. I think it's gonna be a recruiting battle, and if we get in a recruiting battle, I don't think we can win it. But hopefully, he just commits to us. If we can five-star, that'd be awesome. Jalen Brown, this guy is insane. He's got 96 speed, 96 XL, 94 catching. His route running isn't amazing, but it doesn't matter. We have really good speed. He's got bronze 360, bronze double dip, bronze recruit, silver sidestep. So he looks like he could be a monster for us. If we can get him, I highly doubt it, but we're throwing 50 on him just in case. We're also throwing 50 on Lobato just so we can get him. McCall, we're tossing 35 on, and we're also sending him on a visit. We added here Darren Reed from the transfer portal. We're putting 35 on him. Markel Swain, putting 25 also on a visit. We need to get more linebacker depth. We are putting 25 on Tariq Scantling, the transfer, 25 on Rico Manuel, and a visit. Bethel, we're throwing 25 on transfer. Sion Perkins, we're tossing 25 on transfer. Guerrero, we're tossing 10 on. Bo, Byler, McDougal, we're all tossing 10 on. So we're going after some transfers here, and I was surprised even any four stars even interested in us. But Jalen Brown, he's the number three ranked player in the transfer portal, and if we can somehow get him, that would be awesome. But I highly doubt it. So, but we'll jump the next week here, see if we can get some commits. All right, just as I expected, Cameron Tuttle, we are now in a recruiting battle with Kansas State. I think Kansas State's honestly going to take him, and it's going to suck because we were this close to getting a five-star. Calvin McCarry, Florida State's going after him. He's visiting this week. Swain and Manuel are both visiting. We should be getting Swain, and we should be getting Manuel. Brown, we are third in. We're second in Tariq Scantling. We're first for Reed and Perkins. Basek, we're in sixth. Brewer in eighth. Samuel, we are in third. Second for Delhomme. And we got locked out of Patrick Clacks. So those are the only updates. Nobody commits yet. All right, updates on recruiting here. I think it's over for Cameron Tuttle. Kansas State's going to take over them. They have a visit week 3. I scheduled a visit week 12. And I guess that means I can't schedule another visit in off season. So unfortunately, I think Cameron Tuttle will be going to Kansas State. But we're gonna hold out hope. You never know. Kansas State could just be like, actually, never mind. Florida National gonna have him. But we're throwing 50 here on Jalen Brown. But he has. We're gonna send the house on him. We also scheduled a visit here for playing time. Tariq Scantling, we scouted him a little bit. He's got 90 XL, 85 pursuit, and that was enough for me. Plus, we're really linebacker, so we're hard selling him here. Our campus personality. He wants playing time and he wants playing style. And campus lifestyle is another A, so might as well do a hard sell on that there. Jermaine Bethel, we are tossing 35 on. Just a really neat linebacker. Samu Tuamanu Pepe. Pepe. Samu Tuamanu Pepe. PP. Tuamanu Pepe. I don't know. I'm calling Pepe. He's got 92 power moves, 96 strength. I know we did just get a two transfers to Phylon Green and Noah Herrick, but if we can get this guy, 96 strength, 91 block shedding, he's 48 speed, so he's super slow, but he's 383 pounds, he's got 92 power moves. This guy should hopefully be a monster and a monster in the run game. We're throwing 25 on Perkins. We are throwing 15 on Messiah Delhomme. And we're tossing 10 here on Tyler Vance. So we're still not going after some guys, but these other guys that I'm going after, I just like more, and we scout a little bit. So hopefully some of these guys can commit, and we can get some of those hours back so we can go after some more of these guys. But yeah, let's go to next week. All right, we get our first commit here of the offseason, and it is right guard Rico Emanuel, 3-star guard from Apopka, Florida. I don't know how to pronounce that, but we get our first commit there. We're second for Jalen Brown. He's visiting this week, but I think Florida's going to get him. It sucks. We're going to be so close to getting another guy. Tariq Scantling, we are down in third. He's visiting this week. We're first for a few guys. Samu, we were in second. Perkins, we're in first. We got locked out of some guys. But we are first for a few guys here, even some guys we're not going after. But linebacker still hasn't made a decision, so we'll see what's going on there. All right, updates on the recruiting board. It's over. We're not going to get Karen Tuttle, which, dude, we were so close. If we just tossed 50 hours on him from the beginning, we probably had a shot at getting him, but I was just too late. Sway isn't working. Campus personality, yeah, I just think Kansas State's going to end up getting him. Jalen Brown here. We are hard selling. Hopefully these are good. The only thing we know is playing time, and I assume proximity to home because he's got, Florida and Florida State and Miami, so I'm assuming he wants to go to Team Miami, so we're just making an educated guess there. We're throwing 50 here on Calvin McCarry. We're throwing 50 on Tariq Scantling. We are selling campus personality, which campus lifestyle is an A, but this is still good pitch results, so we're going to continue going with that. Jermaine Bethel, we put him on a visit here. He gets complimentary visit for Samu, so hopefully that will help us get also Samu, who we were putting a visit on. We're throwing 50 on him. And those are the only updates here to recruiting. Yeah, let's just hope some of these battles go our way. All right, updates to recruiting here. We're first for Bethel. We're second for Samu, but he is visiting this week. Jalen Brown, we somehow got locked out for playing time. I don't know why we haven't added any receivers. It was literally just like an A- earlier, and somehow it's down to an F. For some reason, we're still second for Macari. I think Florida State's going to get him. Jeez, we're just not getting lucky at all with some of these recruiting battles. All right, so some weird updates here. Kansas State is no longer in first. We are now first for Cameron Tuttle. Can we get Cameron Tuttle here? This would be insane. I don't know what's happening. We got locked out of Jalen Brown. I don't understand how we are locked out. Playing time is down to an F somehow. Briscoe committed a while ago, so it has nothing to do with Briscoe. I don't know why he's down to an F playing time. Hopefully he still considers this. I don't know. McCarr, I think unfortunately Florida State's going to get him here, so I think we're just going to take our hours off him and kind of redistribute these hours here. All right, updates to recruiting. So, Cameron Tuttle. I don't know if this is, okay, we're just going to see what happens here with Cameron Tuttle. We've taken the lead. Kansas State, I don't know what happened there. Jalen Brown were locked out of deal. I don't know how playing time is an F right now. It was literally an A- 1 week, and the next week it's an F. I don't understand it. We should be getting Lobato. We're going to pull out on Macari. Florida State's going to get him. But we're throwing 35 here on Reed, 25 on Swain. We're throwing 50 on Scantling, 40 on Bethel. We're 50 on Samu still. We're tossing 35 on Delhomme now. We're even tossing hours here on some of these guys down here. Kellen Lindstrom, Caleb Singleton, Justin Darby, Moae, Abasiri, and then T. Parrish. We're just throwing minutes or hours on guys. So we'll go over I know I'm not really doing a good job going over these guys, but we'll go over these guys once we get them recruited, or once training happens. But yeah, that's it for the offseason recruiting. Hopefully, we get a ton of commits here in this final week of recruiting. Let's see who's coming to FIU. All right, first of hopefully many commits here is four-star running back Derek Lobato from Cleveland, Ohio. Had no competition for this guy. Nobody else offered him, so let's hope here he's pretty good. We get five-star linebacker Cameron Tuttle. We got our first five-star of the Dynasty. I don't know if that's a glitch where I don't know, because that's happened to me before where the five-star just doesn't commit toward until like the final week or whatever. But I'll take it. Five-star Mike linebacker Cameron Tuttle. Welcome to the team. We also add JUCO Junior Luis Guerrero, free safety from Fort Lauderdale. We'll add another quarterback here to our quarterback group, Johnny McDougal from the Bronx. Adding another linebacker here, Leo Dwyer, three-star. We're adding wide receiver Dennis Bowe to the receiving group. We get Tanner Heckel from Linden, Kansas, the transfer. We get Sion Perkins, tackle transfer, three-star from Idaho. We get another linebacker here, Tyler Vance. We get another cornerback here in Caleb Singleton, another transfer defensive back. We'll get edge rusher here, Kellen Lindstrom. We'll get another edge rusher here, Darren Reed Jr. We add athlete Markel Swain to the class. We'll add another linebacker, Jermaine Bethel, to the group. Adding edge rusher, J.J. Dodge. Add strong safety, Messiah Delhomme. Get another linebacker. We were really thin at linebacker and D-line, and we went heavy here on linebacker and D-line. We get another linebacker, Emmett Byler. Another commit. This one on the offensive line is Moai. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Moai from Hawaii is on the offensive line. Jide Abasiri, Prior Lake, Minnesota commits. So those are all the commits. We do not get Tariq Scantling. So those are all the commits. We got a ton of commits, but we do miss out on some guys I really want Tariq Scantling. He goes to Wyoming. Samu will go to NC State. Xavier Mincy goes to Syracuse. Calvin McCarry goes to Florida State, and Jalen Brown. I don't know how playing time went down to an F all of a sudden, but lose out on a four-star transfer, but we got a five-star. We got a five-star, baby. Let's go ahead and look at some of these guys here, National Signing Day. Check out the guys we do have for right now. Dexter Weil was our first commit, and one of our few four-stars here. Cornerback, he has normal dab. That's unfortunate, but it's a four-star. He's a four-star. Should be a good overall start. Trayvon Volk has impact. Dion Briscoe has normal, so two normals for our four stars. Alexander Daly, the 85-speed tight end, has normal. Lyle Beard has impact. Rico Emmanuel wasn't even a gem, but he has impact. Cameron Tuttle is a star. That's what I'm talking about. Derek Lobato is a star. Darren Reed is a star transfer. Markel Swain is impact. Jermaine Bethel is impact. Lindstrom has impact as well. J.J. Dodge has impact. Simone Perkins has normal. Messiah Delhomme has star, the transfer. Luis Guerrero has impact. Emmett Byler has normal. Johnny McDougal has normal. Tyler Vance has impact. Leo Dwyer also has impact. Caleb Singleton has impact. Moai has impact. Impact for Bowie. Impact for Heckel. And impact for Jide Abasiri. So we didn't get elite. I think we got one elite. Some of the guys we didn't get. Jalen Brown was a star. Impact for Samu. Impact for McCarry. Scantling at impact. Normal impact. But you never know. Some of these guys could end up committing, which the 25 guys we did get will give us the class of 33. We had the 33rd ranked class, by far the best class in the Conference USA. The 5-star certainly helps. The 3 4-stars and the 21 3-stars definitely help. So we went, I want to say we're like in the 50s Last year we were first in conference USA, I know that, but now we move all the way up to 33 because of the 5-star and the few 4-stars we did get. That gives us a better recruiting class than like USC, who always recruits 4 and 5 stars. Um, so I'm feeling very good about our recruiting class and our future heading towards next season. But those are all the guys we got here. We'll do position changes here for athletes and all the other guys, but I'll update you guys if we do make some changes. Our only athlete here is Markel Swain. So I think we're just gonna move him to left edge. We have a lot of edge rushers now. Our edge rusher group should be looking a lot more plentiful here. But it's the only athlete you got. But if we find other guys that we could switch around, I'll let you guys know. All right, so we didn't really change anybody's position that much. We just kind of moved like edge rushers to like kind of have a more even depth chart. So one of our transfers, Duron Reed, comes in at an 82. Heckle comes in at 79. But we'll look at these guys once we do yearly training here. But it's automatic, so the CPU will upgrade. But we're gonna just to make it like kind of realistic, because the players will do whatever they want in the off season. Like we'll see what happens there. But yeah, let's go ahead here and head to the training. Right, we did just get a ton of coach points. We now have 56, but we'll use that later. Looking at the training results, Keenan Lavrone's a 90. He's our top player. Look at that. But we'll go position by position here. Starting with quarterback, George Awuzie is up to an 86. You got +8 to awareness. Short accuracy got up there. His accuracies look pretty good now. Carrying got up. So it's looking like Awuzie will be our starting quarterback next year. Looking at running back, Anthony Carey's an 83, Booth's an 80, Shimon Dempsey's an 84, Carver goes up to a 78. So nobody really goes up insane, but now we have an 83 overall running back. Cash Davis +4. Wide receiver, we do not have very good depth at wide receiver. JoJo Stone's our top receiver at an 80. Daryl Coffey's up to a 72. His catching is in a lot better of a spot now at a 79. Still not amazing, but it's better than last year. Tyson Carter up to a 71. Tight end Sean Burke is actually now a higher overall than Staten here. +2, +3 to Verdugo. Offensive line, Sean Perkins gets a +2 here. Jeremy Smith, who we decided to try to sway, is up to a 74 overall. Offensive line, I'm sorry if I'm absolutely butchering this guy's name, but he gets a +3. He's up to an 82. Jonathan Bush gets a +7 up to a 76. Moses Barnes is up to a 77. Mew is up to a 73. We get Rabis +7 to a 78. McCaslin's still there. Defensive line, J.J. Dodge is up to a 71. Emeka Chekwa gets +6 to 75 here. Right edge, Darren Reed gets a +2. Juan Figures, who was a true freshman All-American, gets +6. Lindstrom +2. Will Bardo +3. D-tackle +3 to Stephylan Green. He's up to an 87. Noah Herrick up to a 79 with a +4, +1, +2 for some of these guys. Jermaine Bethel gets a +3 up to an 81. Deontay Lemon, even though he was a freshman All-American, only gets +3. Mike linebacker Tyler Vance gets a +3. Josiah Taylor +5. Will linebacker C.J. Burhees up to a 76. Corner Jordan Shaw is up to an 84. Davian Kerr gets a +2 to an 82. Heckle's up to an 80. You got Singleton to 77. Alfonso up to a 74. And +5 and +6 for some of these guys we got last year. Freshman Keenan Lavrone's already a 90 overall as a true sophomore. He's a beast. Messiah Delhomme gets a +4 up to an 83. Robert gets a +2. Carnegie gets +3. So the team should look a lot better now. We have a lot more guys in the 80s. We still even have some guys with extra points. Heckle has 42 left over. Maybe we'll have to manually use those. But so some big jumps for some guys. 10 for Lavrone. Was that the highest? Yeah, highest at +10. We had a few guys +6, +7 for some of these guys into their final year. +8 for Barnes. So freshman made some big jumps. This team's looking pretty good heading into next year, so we're going to advance a week here. All right, and now our overall has jumped up to an 81 overall. We have a 79 overall offense. Defense, however, is our strong suit, up to an 84. Championship contenders going to start at a B minus, so we're starting pretty good here. And this would be year number 3. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode. Um, Obviously the bowl game didn't go the way we wanted. Okay. Um, I knew this was gonna happen. Jalen Brown is now on our team. Did anybody else just randomly join the team here? I think it was just him. So now we have Jalen Brown for his senior season. Okay, so that's still a weird thing where they just will randomly add players. So we now have Jalen Brown on the team. So yeah, I was just gonna come here and check to make sure, that nobody else just got randomly added, but we added a 92 overall receiver, so he's by far our top receiver, and we still have still pretty thin at wide receiver, but if we have a 91, who's really gonna care if we have one really good receiver, the rest are kind of all right. But that was it. Really good offseason. We got a 5-star. We got the number 3 ranked player in the transfer portal all of a sudden. This was a plus off season. We didn't get a few guys that I wanted, but we did end up getting Jalen Brown. This was a fantastic off season. Next season, I'm hoping we make the conference championship next season. This is the team that I think can make the conference championship here in the Conference USA. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. The next FIU Dynasty video will maybe be next Monday. I don't know. Maybe I'll record one on the weekend. But hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.